Good morning or afternoon, evening, whatever time it is where you are. I've just got my morning coffee. I've had my pre-workout snack. I'm getting myself hyped up for my last lower body session of the week. I'm just going to set you up. Another day, another slogan top. Look at it. Even baddies get saddies, slay. I'm actually not having a baddie though. Something I wanted to talk about today is inspired by a conversation I had in the gym this week. Someone was just asking me how long I've been training for, what I've done to get where I'm at, and it just made me think about how often people do compare their journey to other people's. It's so easy, to compare your day 1 to someone else's day 100 and not really understand how much time, how much effort has gone into achieving what they've achieved. For those who don't know, my name's Kaylee and I own an online fitness coaching business called Evolve, and I just absolutely love helping other women become strong, empowered and confident in their own skin, not just in the gym, but outside of the gym as well. And a big reason why I went into doing what I do was because of my own journey. Because I've never really spoken about my journey in a lot of depth on here, I thought it would be good and hopefully insightful to go through for anyone looking to get into their journey or anyone who's looking to achieve muscle growth, because that is my main area, but just doesn't really know how to get started, how to set your expectations. So I'm gonna run you through my journey from the start to where we are today. I started my journey in my parents' garage when I was around 16 or 17. So it would have been 2011, 2012. I was using my granddad's old weights, hand-me-downs, but adjustable dumbbells. I think my parents also had a rower machine and a bike from what I can remember. And I was just following random YouTube exercises like how to get abs in 10 minutes, how to build your glutes with these 4 exercises. Of course, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and following those kind of things weren't really ever going to get me to where I wanted to be. But that's where I started. Thinking back, I don't really know what kind of gave me the urge to start. I don't know if anyone else used to do this, but I remember coming home from school. My parents would have still been at work. I would have been starting to cook myself food or food for me and my brother, and I would have put a music channel on, which at the time, I think it would have been called like MTV, I think. And I always remember looking at the women in the music videos thinking, oh my gosh, they look amazing. And the women I would have idolised at that age were people like J-Lo, Beyonce, Rihanna. I didn't actually go into fitness idolising like size 0 models. I always knew I wanted to build shape and I wanted to feel more feminine, which at the time I didn't really. And that just carried on like in my parents' garage, watching YouTube for the next like couple of years until I moved away to uni. When I went to uni, I signed up to a gym. I remember feeling really anxious going into the gym environment. I'd never really been to a gym before. So I remember shying away from the weights and just sticking to the cardio machines for the best part of probably like the first year in my uni. I then started getting quite friendly with some other gym bros and they took me under their wing. So from that point on, I started weightlifting. I still didn't really have any structure. Just remember focusing on like lower body, glutes, legs. I continued to do that, but I didn't have any structure with my nutrition. So I wasn't necessarily seeing the big changes that I wanted to see. I was certainly seeing changes because in the beginning of a journey, when you do first start doing something different, your body is going to respond quite easily to that new stimulus, but it'll get to a certain point where you will just stop seeing any progress unless you change something up, you level something up, you continue progressing in a different way. As I started to come to the end of uni, I started becoming really restrictive and unhealthy with going to the gym and slashing down calories, looking at foods as good and bad. I remember really wanting to get defined abs and wanting to be as lean as I possibly could. I was focusing on everything for the wrong reasons. I was literally just thinking about the way that I looked. I knew exactly what I wanted to achieve. I wanted to be building shape. I wanted to be building muscle. I wanted to be feeling more feminine, but I was going against everything I needed to do to get me to that point. And every single time I thought about increasing calories and changing my routine, I freaked out and I ended up reverting back to square one. So I'll pop a photo here of when I hit my smallest. Bit of a skip forward now. I've graduated. It's been a couple of years restricting. The end of 2019, my dad ended up having a life-changing stroke. And that is when my perspective on everything shifted. And I started to think, oh my gosh, I really need to start thinking about my overall health now. So at that point forward, it felt really scary, but I knew that I needed to ditch all of the unhealthy restrictions and actually start fueling my body properly, learn about nutrient dense foods, whole foods, what was going to help me progress with my gym sessions and get me fitter, get me stronger. I remember making a bit of a plan and getting my first ever coach to help with the support and accountability. Honestly, making that decision to commit to my first ever growth phase was the best thing I ever did. Having my relationship with food heal has been incredible. It's so freeing. Going to the gym as a way to look after my mental health, my physical health, and also, of course, still work on my aesthetic goals. I'm not someone who says, oh my gosh, I can't believe you go to work on aesthetic goals. You're absolutely allowed to work on your aesthetic goals. It's so pressurizing to just think that you should be happy the way that you are, if there's certain things that you can change in a healthy manner. So I still work on my aesthetic goals, but I now really understand that our health is the most important thing. As a woman, I'm going to go through menopause at some point. My hormones are going to change, my estrogen is going to drop, I'm going to be more susceptible to certain conditions like osteoporosis. I want to set myself up for an independent life. My shift in mentality was massive. Now, when people start to think about their journey and what they want to achieve, sometimes the expectations are not realistic. Hello. And this is something that I wanted to discuss as well, because you're not just going to go into a building phase and see complete changes within your physique within the first few weeks. Like, it is going to take time. It takes months and years to build on muscle mass. And when going into your journey, you have to be really clear on what you want to achieve. A lot of people think, you know what, I want to get lean, I want to get defined, and they'll slash their calories right down, like I did, thinking that that'll get them there. But actually, to appear defined and to appear lean, you need to have sufficient muscle mass. Between the beginning of my journey and up until a couple of years ago, I had gained 10 kilograms, and I'll pop a difference up here just so you can see how different I look, how much more muscle mass I've built. And with that had to come a point of me understanding I am going to have to gain weight here, which was really scary at the time. But these are the kind of things that you have to be aware of when you want to build muscle. It's very unlikely that it's going to take you only one phase to get you to where you want to be. A question I get quite a lot is, I want to build on muscle mass, but I also want to drop fat. What should I be focusing on? In this instance, I would say we can start with a fat loss phase. If you want to go down that route, that's absolutely fine, but that is only one part of what you're looking to achieve. There's going to be other phases that we need to think about, like reverse diet, like maintenance phases as well. You can't always be in a cut phase or a building phase. When I first started going through my building phase, I had to go through a reverse diet to bring my calories up to get me to a point of a slight surplus so that I could gain muscle mass. I was also really focusing on pushing myself in the gym with a structured training program. So if you're someone currently who gets bored after a few weeks of their training program and then changes things up, that needs to stop. You need to stick to a structured training program for a set period of weeks before you go changing anything, so you can actually implement progressive overload, get yourself stronger, get your lifts improved. A lot of effort going to your training, that's when you'll really start to see changes. You can't get bored of something that you're getting better at, in my opinion. So if you are someone who gets bored every few weeks of your gym routine, it's probably because you haven't truly learned how to push yourself and understand where your limits are. A lot of people think, oh, this is going to be smooth sailing, I'm going to achieve all my goals in a few months and feel fantastic. There were certain things that I had to work through. I had to work through getting comfortable with growing, and that was going against everything that I'd ever tried before. So it took me a long time to kind of step outside of that comfort zone and be okay with being out of my comfort zone. But let me tell you, the biggest growth comes from being outside of that comfort zone and taking risks. I have also been through a year of being in maintenance where I didn't track my calories at all. I just focused on moving my body in a way that felt good for me, whether that was yoga, boxing sessions, weightlifting on the side as well. Oh my goodness. Have you got anything to say? And periods at maintenance are also really important, because you need to know that you can maintain your progress without tracking your calories, whilst going to social events, whilst going on holidays. After my maintenance phase for that year, I then focused on strength and conditioning. I've got cat hair on me. Going into this year again now, I have just started another building phase. I'm 5 weeks in. I'm doing 4 weightlifting sessions a week and 2 conditioning sessions a week. I still focus on getting steps every day, and I focus on whole foods majority of the time. As you can see, I have been on a bit of a journey. It hasn't only taken me a couple of months or a couple of years. It's taken me a really long time to get to this point where I'm feeling genuinely content and happy with my routine, my habits, my lifestyle, the way that I go about my journey. And I absolutely love helping other women do the same thing. This is why I went into doing what I do. It will make a big difference having someone in your corner and helping you understand all of the different phases that are going to potentially be needed. Shall we go? Enough yapping for now. It's time for my lower body session. I'm feeling pumped. It's the last one of the week. And then I'm going for some delish brunch. Exciting times. Let's get going. It is freaking loud in here today. Mobility done. Warm-up sets done. Now we're going into our first waking set, first exercise. Come on. Come on. Oh God. Oh, slay queen. Slay. Someone giving birth here apparently. Last exercise. And good riddance because I'm seeing stars. I need my brunch. Oh God. Remember how good you feel after. Remember how good you feel after. Gym session done. I feel good to start my weekend off now. I'm gonna go for some brunch, which I cannot wait for. The place that I'm going to does overnight bacon. Yes, I know you are missing out if you haven't tried it. I'll show you. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna make my way there. There it is. What are you getting?
Overnight bacon.
Ovo. Give me a Bosch. Oh my God. Look at this. What are we gonna do? Is it time to chill? The day is still young. Love a Saturday like this. It's going to be one of those days where I genuinely take to chill a little bit more. I rarely get a weekend where I don't really have much planned in or that much work to do. So I'm going to watch a bit of maths and leave this here for the day. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about my fitness journey. And if you do have any questions, I'm an open book. Feel free to just pop me a message over on Instagram at Kaylee_evolve. We do have Evolve in 8 Spaces going live on Friday the 28th of March. So if you want a sense of direction and help getting into your fitness journey, I will pop a link to the priority list below so you can grab your discounted space. Have a great day.